Hey traders, it's Howell here, and in this video I'm going to walk you through a really powerful trading system that you can trade on any market out there. This has been one of my top trading systems that I've been trading for years, so that you too can have a really high probability trading system without spending years trying to figure it all out. Okay, you see, if you have not watched the other videos yet, then please stop this video and watch all of them first, because this system will make much more sense. Because in this video, or should I say in video 3, video 4 and video 5, you can see all the different links at the top. I walk you through the different components of this system I'm about to walk you through today, and in today's video I'm putting it all together for you, and even walking you through a recent trade example that I did just recently. Okay, so what we need, let's actually get into more of the trading system now. Okay, let's jump straight into it. So what we need is we need two time frames. The first one is we need the time frame that you're trading on, and then the next time frame up. Okay, so for me, I like to trade the daily chart, and the next time frame up would be the weekly chart. Okay, so here are the steps that we need to follow. One, you need to have support from the higher time frame. So for me, because I'm trading the daily chart, the next time frame up is the weekly chart. Makes sense? So I'll be looking on the weekly chart, and I'll be looking for support on the weekly chart. Okay, this would be horizontal or even like a 45-degree angle. Okay, and I'll show you what I mean soon, actually, on the live charts when we go there. What I mean by like a 45-degree angle. Okay, so that's the first step. Then the second step is really simple. Two simple steps. Okay, the second step is you need to have several lower peaks, then a higher peak, and then a higher trough. Okay, so we need several lower peaks, and that's why I said before, right, it's important to go back and watch video, I think it was video 3 that I walked you through how to do like the weekly chart boundaries. Video 4 I talked about peaks and troughs. Okay, so you would have understand peaks and troughs by now. So you need several lower peaks, then a higher peak, and then a high trough. Okay, so lower peaks, higher peak, higher trough. Okay, that's all we need. So there's really two steps here. One, we need weekly support. Two, we just need several lower peaks followed by a higher peak followed by a higher trough. Okay, on the chart we're trading, okay, which is the daily chart. Now this is what we call the power reversal. You would have learned in the last video, which was in video number 5. Okay, so you would have learned that just there. So let's actually head over to the charts right now, and I'll walk you through a recent trade example. I'll walk you through step by step from the actual setup to the entry point to the stop to the exits and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's actually head over there right now and we'll get into it. Okay, so here we are, traders. We're actually looking at this chart right now, and this is a recent trade that I actually did following along the system that we're teaching you right now in the system, and it's really powerful when it comes to trading the markets and so much more. Okay, so what we're looking at right now is we're actually looking at a chart of Google. Okay, so I'm not telling you to get in Google. I'm not telling you to do anything Google. You know, in fact, the trade's been done and gone. And so that's why I can show you what happened just recently, but by doing this recording for you anyway, what actually happened with this system. Okay, so what we're looking at, remember, we have two different time frames. We have our time frame we're trading on, which is right now we're looking at the daily chart, and the next time frame up we need the weekly chart. So let's go. Remember, the first thing is we need weekly support. Okay, so as we can see, we're looking at the weekly chart right now, and remember I said before we have two different support lines, right? We have like a horizontal line, which is this one through here. Okay, and we also have a 45-degree angle one, which is like this one through here. Okay, now the reason why this is important is, let me ask you a question. Which one do you think is stronger, a daily support and resistance, or a weekly support and resistance? That's a no-brainer, right? The weekly support and resistance. And that's the reason why I looked at the higher time frame, because if I can have a weekly support line when I'm getting into my trade, it's just add the probability even more, because there's a really strong support there. Make sense? So that's the reason why I want to see a weekly support there with my trade, because it just gives me that much more confidence to get into the trade. Make sense? So step one, what we need is we need a weekly support line. And as you can see, right, by looking at this chart right now, you can actually see that we had, we had the support through here, all the support through here, almost through there, another support through there, and then it came down through here. Okay, So that there was the weekly support line that I was looking at. Okay, so okay, we have a weekly support line here. Okay, check. That's what we need. Then we need to go over to our daily chart. And with our daily chart, I'm going to sort of zoom this in a bit more and show you here. But with our daily chart, remember what we said before, right? 1, we have our weekly support line, all right? Our weekly support line here. 2, what we need is as we said before, right? And if I just bring up the actual PowerPoint again itself here, okay, this is the PowerPoint here that I was walking through just then. You can see here that first we need a weekly support line, okay? So first we need the weekly support. Then what we need is we need several lower peaks, then a higher peak, and then a higher trough. Make sense? So right now we have one. We already have the weekly support line, right? Okay. So now we need several lower peaks, then a higher peak, and then a higher trough. All right. So let's actually just move this PowerPoint over now, and let's look at the live chart. So what do we have here on the live chart here? Well, we have, as you can see, right, we have several lower peaks, right? We have lower peak here, lower peak, lower peak, lower peak, lower peak, right? So it's the first thing we need, right? First thing, which was we need several lower peaks in a row. This is on the daily chart now, okay? 1, what do we have? 1, we have this is this here. Remember, this one here is the weekly trend line, okay? The weekly trend line. Now, what we have is we also the first step is the weekly trend line, okay? Second step is we need several lower peaks, consecutive lower peaks on the daily chart coming down to the weekly support line. Okay, so it's as the lower peaks are happening, it's got to come down to this weekly support line. Once it gets down to the weekly support line, we're looking for a bounce, and then we're looking for a higher peak, and that's exactly what we got here. You can see that higher peak there, and if I just take that off and zoom in a bit more, so we can get a real good closer look at this. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, right, if we have a look at if you have a look here, right, so we had lower peak, lower peak, lower peak, lower peak, and you can see here, right, this one here made a slight higher peak, but it still made a high peak, right? So now we have weekly support line. We now have several lower peaks coming down towards the weekly support line, and now we have a higher peak. Okay, now what we need to confirm it is we need to have a higher trough. All right, and it comes down, comes down, comes down, comes down, comes down here, and then as it comes up through there, right there, as we see right there, this here is where the higher trough confirmed. This up bar through here, this is where the higher trough confirmed on this trade. And that's where the trade would have been at the end of the close here on this bar here, okay? So let me just walk you through these steps one more time. 1, we need the weekly support line, okay? 2, we need to make sure that the market's making several lower peaks coming down towards the weekly support line. Then 3, what we need is we need a higher peak, okay? So several lower peaks followed by a higher peak, followed by a higher trough, and that's the entry there. And the reason why this is so important is because this is how the market works, right? If you go back through the other videos, is the market works like this. This is how the market works. It works using peaks and troughs, right? If the market's in an uptrend, it's going to give you higher peaks, higher troughs. If it's in a downtrend, it's going to give you lower peaks, lower troughs. So by understanding how the market works, we're utilizing that along with big buyers, which is formed by a weekly chart, which is formed by a weekly support line. So by utilizing how the market works, which is peaks and troughs, we're seeing, okay, the market's made a higher peak, now a higher trough at a weekly support line. There's 1, the peaks and troughs are saying this market's going to go up because that's how the market works. But also 2, we're at a weekly support line here. Okay, we're at a weekly support line here. So your entry for this, let me just do this here. Your entry for this would be at the open here. Where you would get out is that if it closes below the low here of that there, okay, so you entry there. If it basically closes below the low of this bar here, then you would get out, and that would be a stop. And your target, okay, your target would be at a next area of support or resistance. Okay, so this here would be your stop, okay? And then the next area of support or resistance, you can see that around about, looking at this chart anyway, you can see that there's a whole bunch of area of support and resistance up here, okay? So therefore, that there would be your target, okay? And this here would be a risk, all right? So that there is the overall trade setup in itself, okay? Now, what you can do, and what I did with this one here, is that I actually got into that. You can see it actually ran right up. It actually ran straight up. Okay, ran right up to that area of, as I said before. Okay, you can see that this area here ran up to that resistance level. And then what I did is I actually had a fair. I was actually trading. I traded this one, and I had a fair few trades on this one. So I removed most of my trades. Okay, most of my trades. And then what I did is I scaled out. So I'm actually still into this trade. And as I'm doing this recording right now, this is where the market is right now as I speak. So as you can see, right, this higher peak and higher trough, that was the turning point before the market took off through here. Okay, so I want you to look at this, and I want you to understand this in very, very simple terms. All we're looking for is the weekly support line, and then we're just looking for to make sure that we have at least 3 different lower peaks. Okay, 2 or 3 different lower peaks, followed by a higher peak, followed by a higher trough. If we can get that at a weekly support line, several lower peaks, higher peak, higher trough at a weekly support line, then I'm telling you right now is that I don't believe that there's another system out there that is as powerful as this. And the reason why I say that is because, remember, peaks and troughs are how the market works. Okay, that's how the market works. It utilizes peaks and troughs. And if the market's in an uptrend, as we said before, high peaks, high troughs, downtrend, low peaks, low troughs. So because we're utilizing how the market works, that pattern, peaks and troughs, and we're using higher time frame support and resistance levels, it's like we have the big buyers there saying, hey, we're getting ready to come in, and then the small time frame charts get you in a lot early, which is the daily chart. Now, if you do like trading smaller time frame charts, then this daily chart here, if you're trading, say, call it a 30-minute chart, okay? If you're trading, say, a 30-minute chart, then that would be your end. You'd use this pattern on the 30-minute chart, but then you'll look to, say, maybe a 4-hour chart to look for the support and resistance levels. Make sense? So you look for the support and resistance levels on the 4-hourly chart, and then if you're trading the 30-minute chart, you would look for the entry levels on that chart there. Now remember, we look for the entries on this one here, but we're looking for a higher time frame support level. Remember, because this line through here, right, is a weekly. So it's not a daily support level, it's a weekly support level, right, and a higher time frame. If you're trading, say, an hourly chart as an example, then the next time frame up would be, I would say, use a daily support and resistance levels, using daily support resistance levels, and that's going to help you with your hourly entries, and then we're using a higher time frame for the support levels. Make sense? So there's a lot of drawing on the screen right now, but I really hope this makes sense to you, and I really hope you see the power of this. This is so powerful, once again, because you're utilizing just price action alone. If you can really, if you see this, right, I'm just using price action here. There's no indicators, there's nothing like that. So that means you can trade this on the futures market, you can trade it on any market out there. And remember, a chart is a chart of a chart. So if you can trade a stock chart, you can trade a forex chart, you can trade a futures chart, because they do the same things. They all do peaks and troughs. So utilizing peaks and troughs, and utilizing that system peaks and troughs, by utilizing this powerful reversal pattern out of weekly support line, to me, there is nothing else out there that is powerful than this. Go out there and test it out yourself. Now, before I get back to the actual PowerPoint itself, I want to show you another trade here, okay? Going back here, what do we have? We have this overall big resistance level through here. It broke back up, come back down, and we would expect this level to be support line, right? Resistance becomes support. So if we go to our daily chart, let's go to our daily chart, right? And then let's actually go over here, and as you can see, right, I've already marked it down, but you can see we have, let me just delete these here so you can see a bit more. Right, what do we have? We have several. So this, remember, this was the support and resistance line from the weekly chart. Okay. What do we have? We have lower peak, lower peak, lower peak, lower peak. Right, several lower peaks makes a higher peak through here. It bounced off this weekly support line through here. gave you the higher trough, okay? And as you can see, that thing just took off like that thing went from there all the way up through there, okay? Now, so if you're looking for this trade, I actually like to do this in my retirement account, but on the weekly chart. So I'll look for the monthly support and resistance levels, and I'll look for that reversal pattern there with the peaks and troughs on the weekly chart. And when I see that, then I know that we should have at least several months in that direction when it comes to the weekly chart. Makes sense when it comes to that. So I like to trade on the daily chart because the actual trade itself, okay, generally only lasts a week, sometimes up to a couple of weeks only, okay? So we're not in it for a long time. I like to do this and get in and get out within a couple of weeks and try to do that several times, and then obviously that's what's going to help me make the cash flow. All right, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this this overall setting. Just one more recap here, okay? Just one more recap, so you know. One, what we're looking for is we're looking for a weekly support line, which is this one here. It's drawn on the weekly chart. Two, we need to go to the trading chart, which is the daily chart. We need several lower peaks, followed by a higher peak, followed by a higher trough. Several lower peaks, lower peak, higher trough at the weekly support level. This one here equals golden opportunity for a trade. You can see here it took off, and everything there. So use that, guys, and I'll see you back at the power. So there we have it, right? You can see how powerful. And now I know I repeated myself a couple of times, but I just wanted to make sure that sometimes it gets like, what was that? Weekly support, right? Okay, and I've simply just put it into a couple of different steps. And now if you need to watch this video over again, make sure you do, because if you watch this 2 or 3 times over, you'll start to get how powerful this is. And this is an amazing, powerful system, and it really, really is awesome when you start trading it. Okay, so if you do understand this right now, then brilliant, because you can start actually looking for these trades in the markets, and even start, don't take my word, don't take my word for it. Do some back testing, right? Bring up some stock charts, bring up some future charts, whatever. And actually start doing some back testing. Look at the daily charts, look at the weekly charts, look at where the weekly support levels came into play. Look at the daily charts, and if we got that higher peak at that weekly support levels, tell me what happened. Right? You'll be really, really surprised to actually see that it actually works really well. Go do the back testing, and you'll be able to see that this is an amazing, powerful trading system that you can use. And guess what? All you need is price action, and that's the reason why it's so powerful. Okay? So if you did like this system, then you're really going to like the weekly coaching program that I've just opened up. This is where I walk you through the basics of trading, everything, all setting up to basically the laying the foundation, to the basics, to reading charts, to everything like that, to all the way up to 7 more advanced trading systems, mindset, my $150,000 software that scans 2,000 stocks literally in a matter of seconds. Everything you need to be successful is part of that weekly coaching program. Okay, I'll walk you through everything: mindset, risk and money management strategies, everything. Okay, and what I do is I don't just give you the education, and I am actually there every week personally coaching you, so that you're getting the help you need. Right. So not only are you getting really simple but powerful trading strategies you can trade on any market, like you learned today, but you're also getting me as your personal coach, walking you through everything on a weekly basis there via email and also Skype personal phone calls, that I'm there helping you out, walking you through everything. Okay, so I open this up twice per year, and this is the last time for this year. And what I normally do is I only open up 5 spots each time. The reason why is because I want to make sure that I can just focus on those who have just signed up, and who already are in the coaching program, and that way I can just focus on you and make sure that I'm giving you the time you deserve to help you move forward. Okay, so I only open up 5 spots, and I've had 3 people already take up. Already take up the spots already. Okay, so I've already had 3 spots taken up already. So that means there is only 2 spots left. So click on the button below now to get all the details about the weekly coaching, plus also my 5-day platinum event. And if it's for you, you can apply for it. There's nothing to buy on the next page. You can apply for it, and I'll call you to see if we are a good fit. Okay, so in the next video, I'm going to show you another simple but powerful trading system. This one this you're going to love. Okay, so while I'm making that video for you, once again, click on that button below right now to get all the details about my weekly coaching program, because I'm telling you right now, guys, if you really like this trading system that you saw today, then you're going to absolutely love the weekly coaching program. So I have 7 other different trading systems out there. I have software, I have a lot of different other things in there. You can really see all the details on the next page, and you're really going to help, and you're really going to get a lot out of doing the coaching. Okay, all right. So, or even if you want to come to my 5-day platinum event, okay? Because remember, at the end of the day, there's only 2 spots left, and that's not a scarcity thing, that's a real thing. There's only 2 spots left, because I don't like to bring on 10, 20, 30, 100 people, because I can't, right? Because I'm personally calling you on Skype, and I'm personally answering your emails, and I can't be hopping on my inbox every day, answering hundreds and hundreds of people, because it's just not gonna. I actually trade. I actually have a family. I actually enjoy my life, and also I want to spend a little bit of my time every day answering emails and hopping on Skype to help my private coaching clients. Okay, so if you're interested in that, then click on the button below. Okay, all right, guys. This is John Howell here. Remember, success can be yours if you go claim it. So step up, take massive action, and face your fears today.